Canada's Ultimate Challenge turns our country into an epic obstacle course. Hosted by Brandon Gonez, this breathtaking, heart-pounding cross-country adventure will keep you on the edge of your seat over 7 weeks total. 7 total strangers. Not 7 total strangers. There's a lot more total strangers than 7. There might only be 7 left after this episode, though, because there's a real twist.
They're in Canmore, Alberta.
That's right.
Maybe they can catch an Edmonton Oilers game through the future of Magic Television.
I like that. I like that.
Just hear it from the mountains. Speaking of edge of your seat, edge of a cliff.
That's right.
Yeah.
Ha Ling Peak, by the way.
Which is what they're dangling off of.
Do you guys know the story behind Ha Ling Peak?
Yes, because I
of the show.
saw it on the show.
No. Well, do you know the actual story, though?
No.
So
I know what Brandon Gonez told me while I was watching.
Okay, well,
That's the extent of what I know.
I could do a mini history corner here for Ha Ling Peak.
Do it.
Peak because I know about it because I used to live out there. So
Okay.
Ha Ling Peak, Ha Ling was a Chinese immigrant who worked building the Canadian Pacific Railway in the late 1800s. It was those were ugly, ugly jobs, especially for immigrants. And somebody at the work camp bet him $50 at the time.
In the late 1800s, that's an enormous amount of money.
$50.
That's $1 million.
That's a lot of money that he could not scale that peak, and he did it on his own, planted a flag, and he did it. It had to be less than 10 hours, and he did it, and nobody believed him, so he did it again and planted a bigger flag. So this guy, Ha Ling.
Wow!
Yeah, man. He earned that $50.
Did
Let me
he
tell
ever
you.
think a century later it'd be on a reality
I don't
TV
know if he
show?
thought so. I don't know if he thought so. Isn't that cool, though?
Wow.
Yeah, so they are rappelling down Ha Ling Peak, and I will tell you that I would have vomited down Ha Ling Peak because that's too much height for me.
It's too much.
Yeah,
It's a bit,
yeah.
it's
And there
too
is a
much.
bit of a twist at the end of this episode, too, so you'll definitely want to stick around for that because it elicits tears.
And
There are
only
lots of
3
emotions.
teams left. We're coming to the end.
Yeah, bye-bye, Team Green. You were gone.
And big word, regret.
There you go. Sundays on CBC Gem. That's when the new episodes drop. You can watch for free right now for all Canadians. Watch for free on CBC Gem every Sunday. It is Canada's Ultimate Challenge. And let's start the show.
SDP, the Steve Dangle Podcast, with your hosts, Steve Dangle, Adam Wilde, and Jesse Blake.
And the Lafreniere party is out in full force, baby.
He's gross. We were wrong. Sorry.
Bust.
Laugh.
You were wrong.
Busted
yeah.
out, more
Oh,
like.
Jesse was right the whole time.
Adam Wilde, more than anybody, owes Rangers Nation an apology.
I'm sorry. I'm
As
sorry,
recently as like a couple weeks ago, when I was tagging you in tweets being like, hey, laugh is good, you were like, I don't think so.
I wasn't. I was more. I was more a hater for the lulz, just like Slavkovsky. Like I feel like Slavkovsky's going to be a good hockey player, but I'm going to be a hater until he is.
Damn.
Yeah. I'm going to be a
yeah,
hater.
well, you didn't watch.
You didn't watch Game 59.
A string
when the
of-
Montreal Canadiens played the St. Louis Blues, and he was put on the first line with a bunch of great play drivers, of which he is not,
Yeah.
and scored a bunch of goals.
Facing a bunch of backup goalies in March. You
crazy.
didn't. You didn't. No, I'm kidding. I'm just being a jerk.
No, you know what?
I don't know if that's true. But I said it into a microphone, so there.
You know what, Jesse? I knew I was going to get it because
Yeah.
I was on NHL Network like you were. I also can now officially say I've made it because I've been on the air with Pierre Maguire. And Nick Alberga was also on too, so shout out to him.
cool.
And Anna Dua, who's from Toronto native, is a big supporter of all things Leafs.
A big supporter of all the worst food takes I've ever
She has
heard.
terrible food takes. It's crazy.
Terrible.
It's the only person worse is Drew. Maybe we should do a Drew versus Anna YouTube video crossover this summer of like. Just
Nothing
terrible.
goes better with movie theater popcorn than mustard and pickle juice. Like, Anna, what the
Yeah, she
what's
said.
wrong with you?
What did she say? She dips her pizza. There's no dipping sauce in the States like we have up here.
What?
Yeah, apparently not. Apparently there's no dipping sauce in the same way that we do it, which I was surprised at.
Land of the free my ass.
Maybe I'm wrong on that, but Nick made mention of it. And she says she dips hers in Chipotle sauce. What do you think about that? Like from Chipotle.
Not for me.
Not for you. Jesse?
It's okay. I
Are we on to
understand
that?
it, but not for me.
I don't mind that. I like dips. I'm a dip guy.
Yeah?
So if you want to do a dip, like I'll invite that conversation.
But what kind of dip though? Are you a creamy dip or are you are you more of a tomato based dip? Like what's your dip?
I'll try any kind of dip.
Yeah?
I'm not a big ranch person.
Oh.
I know a lot of people are on the ranch train, but I'll try most dips. Like a Chipotle dip, I'll entertain.
He'll let it come up to him and buy him a drink at the bar.
Oh yeah. Creamy garlic's goated.
Oh.
But I'm going to say I like
I like a little sriracha sauce in there, though.
I like jalapeno cheddar to be difficult.
Oh, a lot of people that's not for me, man. Can't do it.
There's a couple places that do it really poorly.
Yes.
There's a couple places that do it really well.
Yeah, okay. That's maybe I need to get your take on that. But
right.
the reason I brought up Pierre Maguire is because on the first period, Pierre Maguire and I were chatting. We're having a chat, and Lafreniere gets in on a breakaway and scores one of the most beautiful goals I've ever seen.
Thank you for bringing us back to that. Maddie, bring this up. Let's
is
go.
this?
Adam Wild, Steve Dangle, back in October, talking a lot of nonsense.
What's
garbage.
101.5?
They're over under on the season. Just watch
sorry.
the clip.
Okay.
Adam Wild, Steve Dangle, talking a lot of nonsense garbage. And get a first overall pick to play like a first overall pick. That is a boost that no other team is getting.
Adam, I will say I love.
What arm of propaganda are you wearing?
Excuse me?
No.
Does laugh on the wing not excite you? That's something he didn't want to do. He didn't want to play right wing all last year because Gallant couldn't get him to do it. He likes the left wing.
Adam
and
found
now he's a
laughable.
right winger. He can fit on that first line. I'm very hopeful.
So that was a good explanation.
Sure.
But it started like someone trying to justify their difficult friend to the rest of the friend.
Yes.
You know, like, no, he,
Really
like he'll warm up and it. No, I'm not buying it.
I'm not buying it, Steve. I'm not buying it.
Now, to be fair to us, Lafreniere had been healthy, and his career high in points before this year was 39.
He was a child.
And he's now up to 57, which is great. He almost had 30 goals this year. 12 points in 13 playoff games this year. That
Wow.
is outstanding. Jesse.
And he's getting better at
Jesse
it.
with the good takes. Jesse with the good
No,
takes.
but he honestly, he was a baby, and
He was a baby.
Not every, or we need to adjust our expectations on first overall picks because not every first overall pick is Connor Bedard. And to be fair, they threw him into a position where he clearly wasn't ready and just needed more maturing to get to the level he's at right now. Shout out Dan on Twitter who sent that clip on April 12th, and he said, "Streets don't forget Steve and Adam laughing at Jesse Blake for suggesting Lafreniere would break out this season and help the Rangers succeed."
Can I say something?
And Adam Wild responded to that tweet by saying, I don't have your response there.
Did I retweet
tagged
with
you.
comment or something?
I'll find it after. It's okay.
By the way, I have never seen a grumpier group of winners than the New York Rangers fans this morning. Guys, you won.
No.
What's the matter,
This
man?
is how it works, Adam.
Why are you so upset? They didn't call the goal in the way in which I thought it should be called. Person who only calls football games was calling a hockey game, and that makes me mad.
Well, I didn't. Why? Oh, they keep bringing up shot attempts. Yeah,
Yeah,
they got
'cause they
caved
matter.
in. Like, what are you talking
No,
about?
but Steve, you've said this for years.
What?
If the Leafs ever are just moderately successful in any realm of hockey,
Yeah.
you are going to be a complete asshole.
I'm gonna be so awful. I am gonna give you a reason to hate Leaf fans. I'm gonna give you a reason to be right for a change.
Yep.
It's not half it. You think it's bad? Oh, fuck. I got something for you. If they, years of preparation.
Yeah.
Oh.
So Adam, you sitting there being like, "Oh, Rangers fans, they're all upset." No, you've never experienced being like everybody didn't believe in us, and now we're doing it. I'm going to be an indignant piece of shit about it.
That's true. That's true.
Like,
You know what? That's
awesome.
very true. I've never experienced that. I've never had the pleasure of experiencing that kind of misery. And
Steve, I can't wait for that day.
Yeah, like,
that
what's it
day's-
like?
It's
You know
going to
what
be
I mean?
a miserable day, and I'm going to be thrilled to be there.
Oh yeah,
I can't wait. I can't wait.
here.
Steve's going to be the king of this.
I went all the way back to April 12th just to retweet me and Adam being wrong.
Hey.
And Jesse being right. Let's go.
There we go.
Being
There
right.
we go. I will
High five.
also
love
retweet
you.
it. I will also retweet it. Listen, it's Lafreniere has had a spectacular couple of games here. He really has.
He scored like one of the sexiest goals of these playoffs, and then he beat it later in that
Yeah.
game. Like, holy.
So-
No, he's unreal.
So
I don't recognize that kid.
Well, and there is something to be said, and Leaf fans know this, about performances in the playoffs.
Yep.
You know?
Congrats to Barclay Goodrow passing Mitch Marner in career playoff goals.
Stop it. What did Julian say in the group chat yesterday?
11 to 12.
Leaf fans constantly, what does he say? Hold on.
Stabbing themselves in the chest.
Yeah.
I
Oh, it
believe
was
were
such
those
a
words.
funny comment.
And you know what's funny? It wasn't even that stat. It was the Kevin Papetti stat. Sam Reinhart had more power play goals in the first period of Game 3 than the Leafs had in 7 games versus Boston.
Right.
Jail. All
Right.
of them jail. Jail immediately, jail under the prison jail.
Barclay Goodrow is such a weird example of a guy like clutch. A lot of people like to argue that it doesn't exist, but
clutch
I'm
matters.
like, no, humans are humans, and stress matters. Even if you're an elite athlete, like it doesn't mean your brain turns off. And there's somebody whose game caters more to the playoffs, and the way he's able to play in the playoffs and get just more goals than he's ever scored ever in that part of the year. It's incredible.
So I had a tweet yesterday, and it was worded in the strangest way possible. Like, I didn't know how to word it on Twitter. So I'm going to say it now, and you let me know if it confuses you. Barclay Goodrow has 6 goals in 13 games in these playoffs. Barclay Goodrow also has 3 seasons where he's played 50 games or more and had 6 or fewer goals, including this season.
Where he had
4
goals in 80 games.
And Rangers fans were like, get him off our cap sheet.
Yeah.
They were.
He averaged a goal every 20 games. That's so many games.
But a great tip. A great tip.
He had 2. He got half his goal total for the season in Game 3.
Yeah.
After scoring the OT winner in Game 2. That's dumb.
6 goals makes no sense
No.
for a guy who scored 4.
No.
But it lends itself to the role that they put him in the lineup. Like, it makes a lot of sense. The salary doesn't line up.
Nope.
No.
Like, we can't just retroactively be like, that's why you pay him. It's good. No, the salary is still bad, but it's incredible that he has 6 goals.
But I think that there was a history there. And you look at the line he was on in Tampa with Blake Coleman. Like, I want to know, what's it going to be like when Blake Coleman gets back in the playoffs? Because Blake Coleman was one of my favorite hockey players.
He was good for
and
the
then he
Flames,
went to
too.
Calgary, and he was great for the Flames in the playoffs. But the Flames have been the Flames the last couple of
Right.
years, and that's what I'm saying. Like, he's going into, I think, year 4 of that 6-year deal that he signed. When that's a guy I wonder if the Flames move on from this summer because they might be in a retool rebuild position, and some smart team is going to pick him up and go, well, we might get 50 points from him this regular season, but we're getting him for
50. He's never had 50 in his career.
There you go. There you go.
Blake Coleman's career high in points is 38. Oh, no. He had 54 this season. Blake Coleman had a 30-goal season?
Dude, he was good.
Wait, what?
Back half, he was real
Yeah,
good.
I was looking at every year besides this year. His career high is this season 54.
I'll be honest with
30
you.
and 24. I have no idea
I
that
have a
lot
total man
lost
crush on
because-
Blake Coleman.
What's that?
Total man crush on Blake Coleman.
Oh, he's
I
gorgeous.
love him.
He's
I love him.
He is gorgeous. Barclay Goodrow.
Yep.
So out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 years, he's missed the playoffs once. Not counting that year. So just counting years where he made the playoffs, because that's obviously where he makes his bread and butter. Out of the last 6 playoff runs Barclay Goodrow has been in, how many times has he been to the conference final? At least the conference final.
4?
4. With 3 different teams.
Good guess.
Unreal.
Who was the first? It was Tampa?
Sharks.
Oh, the Sharks.
The Sharks.
He scored a big OT goal for them as well.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
Dude, and
Right.
he had 2 points. Or no, sorry. Yeah, he did. He had 2 points, both of them goals, in 20 games for the Sharks in 2019. So he played 20 games during that run, 25 for Tampa during the COVID bubble, 18 the next playoff. I think he missed a few games from injury, still won the cup. Then 9 games, 7 games, and 13 games this year. He's in the conference final. Stupid.
That's great.
Absolutely stupid.
Listen,
He's played 94 career Stanley Cup playoff games.
I will listen to the argument, by the way, that you do overplay regular season performances for performances that really show up in the playoffs, if you can prove it.
Yep.
And I think with a guy like that, you can. I don't know how you can say that he isn't. People be like, well, it's a fluke. Did he really fluke into it? Did he really fluke into it?
Leaf fans, I got some homework for you, because I've been fiddling with the stats, especially over the past year, writing the book and talking about some of the greatest of all time. Don't compare the current Leafs and their stats to all time,
Yep.
because it's not going to go well. Compare it to their peers. Go back and just isolate it to 2017 when they first made the playoffs and onward. They're consistently brutal compared to their peers.
Yep.
Everyone else seems to step it up. Now, I'm not saying your goal scoring or your points are going to go up in the playoffs. For the vast majority of players, it goes down because teams are, well, you're only playing against the top half of the league. And then the top quarter, and then the top, they isolate guys. It's harder. It's a war of attrition. But so many guys are incredible playoff performers. Barclay Goodrow's former teammate, Andre Palat, he's played over 100 Stanley Cup playoff
We're
games.
just going to name guys who used to play on Tampa. Like,
Yes, we should.
They seem to have a lot of them.
That's the list of guys who are unbelievable playoff performers.
I mean, like, Joe Pavelski is a guy who I'm trying to talk about more and more. Like, I was talking about McDavid the other day and how his legacy isn't going to feel complete until he wins the Stanley Cup. Like, the greatest players of all time in any sport, almost all of them win one. Yeah. Not all of them, but almost all of them win one. You look at the top, I think it's 13 scores in NHL history. All of them have a cup except one.
Pierre Turgeon.
Marcel Dion. And then,
who's the greatest NHL player to never win the Stanley Cup?
Yeah.
I mean, it's got to be Dion.
Yeah.
Or, well, and
I would also,
then you're getting into goalies.
I would also not call Marcel Dion not a winner. You have to remember that LA had exactly one line. And it was a great line, but the rest of the team was total dog shit, and they were owned by a Canadian guy who also owned the Lakers, who did not like to spend money.
Well, and then it's like you start getting into the conversation of all the guys who never won an NBA championship exclusively because of Michael Jordan. You know what I mean? Like, that was hockey's Michael Jordan is friggin' Wayne Gretzky. Joe Pavelski, sorry. People were like, okay, McDavid's got to win one, whatever. Let's talk about Joe Pavelski. Joe Pavelski, since Crosby entered the league and Ovechkin entered the league, has more playoff goals than anybody. He's the greatest playoff goal scorer of this generation. He's got 74.
It's a lot of goals.
It's so many friggin' goals. And like a guy like Draisaitl might get there. McKinnon might get there. You know what you got to go through to play. Pavelski, I think, has, I got to look it up. Whatever. I think it's 100, off the top of my head, I think it's 196 Stanley Cup playoff games.
It's a lot.
You know how friggin' many runs, and he's never won it.
Yeah.
How? That doesn't make any sense. I don't remember where the conversation began.
Barclay Goodrow.
Barclay Goodrow. To jog your memory, we can move the conversation forward after this, but just because no one probably remembers this because it happened just before the pandemic, about a year earlier. In 2019, the Western Conference Final, Vegas Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks. The Vegas Golden Knights took a 3-0 lead in game number 7 against the San Jose Sharks. And then what happened in the third period?
Pavelski got injured by Cody Eakin. Is that the one? And there was a 5-minute major? Or I thought that was the first round.
Cody Eakin took a 10-minute misconduct, misconduct, and the San Jose Sharks went to the power play in the third period, and they scored 4 goals on the power play.
It was enormously bullshit. It was a horrible call. Holy shit.
But the argument we had at the time was don't allow them to score 4 goals.
Who is we? That was you. Well, no, you're right. It was a horrible call, but yeah.
Don't
you
allow
also
them.
are allowed to kill a penalty.
You had a 3-0 lead. Don't allow them to score 4 goals. And then Jonathan Marchessault tied it back up and forced it to overtime, 4-4, game 7. Barclay Goodrow, opening minutes overtime, scores and wins game 7 for the San Jose Sharks.
And then Tampa traded a first for him, and we went, what? Mm-hmm. And then he won 2 cups.
Doesn't matter. 1 cups.
By the way, I was 1 game off with Joe Pavelski. He was tied with Steve Yzerman, just past him. He's now exclusively 23rd all-time in Stanley Cup playoff games played. 3 games back of Yari Curry and Zdeno Chara.
Wow.
Nice.
5 games back
and
at Brett Hall. Like, he's going to pass some ridiculous players.
You are right. It was the first round. Yeah. Game
Oh, it was the
so,
first
yeah.
round. Okay, there you go.
I also want to give some flowers to another New York Ranger. We will get to the Panthers in a second here, who objectively did sort of cave the Rangers.
They were the better team.
Yeah, they were.
But the whole thing is like, oh, you're the better team, but you got goalie, but goalies are part of the team.
Yep.
So were you really the better team?
Shesterkin was wonderful.
He out-Russianed the other Russian.
He sure did.
Who will get for the Olympic athlete from Russia, but not Team Russia? Who will get the starting goaltender job?
I don't think they're going to
Andre Vasilevsky.
right?
Olympic athlete from Russia. Yeah, the athletes are allowed to participate. The country isn't.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to have a team, though.
You don't think
Will
so?
they?
Oh, yeah. Well, they have an Olympic team for the rest of it. So, yeah, I think they will be there.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't know. I didn't know that.
Team Russia shows up, but they're Olympic athlete from Russia. They're not Team Russia or whatever.
Okay, that's news.
That's what I would think. Now,
I never talk about Olympic stuff with any permanence.
no, yeah, they could always switch it up.
Yeah,
But I'm just
of
saying
course.
they've been in the last few Olympics.
Yeah.
Now, what I want to say is the Ottawa Senators have been a part of 2 of the best worst trades of all time.
Okay.
2 of the best worst trades of all time.
Both with
the
New York
best
teams.
trade when they were on the best side was when they got Spezza and Chara for Yashin.
Mm-hmm.
That was a flippin' great trade, and they screwed it up when they're like, no, Wade Redden, we need him. That's the guy we need, not Zdeno.
And you might be like, Steve, you should do a trade tree on that. I did. You can
Right.
go and watch it.
The worst, the side that we were on that was the worst was Brassard, Zabinajad.
Man,
Now, Mika was looking real good, but Ottawa decided they needed Brassard that year. And you know what? They went to the East Final. Did they not?
what year was this?
This was 16-17. Did they not go to the East Final?
Yes, they did.
Yeah, so that was not bad. But it was 15-16 where they made the trade in the offseason.
They were a goal away from the Stanley Cup Final.
So, maybe you don't hate it that much, but Jay Fresh has this chart up, and I'm bringing this up because it's hilarious. Zabinajad currently leads the NHL in 5-on-5 scoring chance assists per 60 minutes. Second on that is Mitch Marner. Third on that, Carter Verhaeghe.
Why are you bringing it up?
I'm bringing it up because Mitch Marner, LOL. Because a lot of people are going, see, can't trade him. Secondly,
11 goals.
I
Yes, you can.
I did want to actually say that I think Mika Zabinajad has been. Is it underrated? Can we say underrated? Not getting the headlines that perhaps he should?
For a guy who plays in New York, it feels like he doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's overshadowed by there's some big names on the Rangers, man.
Yeah.
Like Panarin,
Fox Trouba.
gets a lot of attention. Trouba gets a lot of attention for very different reasons. The Rempire State Building, dude,
They keep winning when he's
cheer. Every now and then a player comes along, and when do you ever see a player get cheered, audible cheers from the audience
for stepping on the ice.
stepping on the ice? Like, he might do it how many times a game? 12? Mm-hmm. And every time he does, the crowd goes, oh, shit, it's a Matt Rempe shift.
Rangers in games with Rempe playing this postseason. Win, loss, win, 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 win.
They
are 7-1. And the Rangers are 16-1-0 in their last 17 games with Rempe played.
dating back to the regular season.
Yep.
I guess. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, I do want to. So I wanted to give Zabinajad a little shout out here. I want to talk about, guys, this Trouba Rodriguez elbow, and so it's interesting because I love watching the discourse afterwards. Jesse, do you need me to send you the link on that?
No,
You'll pull it up.
no.
Okay, cool. So
one.
You'll pull it up.
Yeah.
Okay, imagine Jake Trouba horizontal elbowing someone. Look at that!
Now people will argue that elbow. So first off, that's not a major penalty.
They called it 2 minutes.
And people will say, well, the point of contact is his shoulder back.
No, it's not.
But it's
That-
still
from
a
that
flying
angle-
elbow.
No, there you go. There you go. There's the winning angle is the other one where you see like if Rodriguez was a boxer, you would see his head move like jello and his sweat stay where it was. Like, you ever see those shots where someone gets punched in the head so hard that their sweat stays stationary but their head goes flying?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what would have happened there. Can't believe Trouba stayed in the game. Can't believe Rodriguez stayed in the game. Look at that! Yeah,
Now-
principal point of contact is the friggin' fotch. Right in the jaw. Right in the right between the jaw and the ear. Dude, it's really bad.
So in absence of the NHL explaining their rules, we have to go with people that used to work at the NHL. Okay?
Who's this?
This is Tim Peel.
Oh, I wonder if he agreed with the call.
He did.
Yeah, fuck.
He says that Rodriguez embellishes too.
I think that's true.
What?
No, he a little bit.
A little bit?
He got up and he was fine. He kept staying the rest of the game. Like,
Jesse Blake.
yeah, a little bit.
I can't tell if you're taking the piss right now. I genuinely.
No. Like he goes down hard. He definitely sells it. It's like I'm not saying what Trouba. Like everything about Trouba is true, but you can also say that Rodriguez sells it a little. I think it's similar to like how when Reinhardt went down, like he was shot and they stopped the play.
Yes.
Like I think that was also ridiculous.
2 minutes.
Well, that was dumb.
Yeah, blowing the
Yeah.
play dead because a player is uncomfortable is not hockey.
I think Steve, like you say this all the time. When you get hit, go down like you're shot because it's more likely the referees will call it. And I think Rodriguez definitely goes down and he stays there, but then he gets up and he's fine and he's still in the game. They take him out like look at him. He's a little dramatic with it, is all I'm saying.
Nice shirt, Jesse. Your
Yeah.
Rangers jersey in the wash or what?
No, it's an SDPN shirt.
yeah.
Just thought I'd throw it on today.
Laundry day?
Yeah.
Laundry day at the Blake House?
I think Rodriguez goes down like it's the worst thing that's ever happened to him.
His head moves like a bowl of Jello. His head moves like a bowl.
I
of
think
Jell-O.
both things can be true. I think
give him a penalty.
what Trouba did was horrendous, and you shouldn't be. You got to put down your chicken wing and stop going up people's heads.
Yeah.
I mean, I
But
guess
also, Rodriguez, he is like a rag doll.
Here's the deal. It would have been a major penalty had he beaned him.
he did.
If he beaned him, no, but if he beaned
missed him.
he missed him.
He missed him,
If he
100%.
beaned him, there's no debate.
Folks.
So what's interesting about that
Look at
is it speaks to how we call the game. We call the game based on the outcome, not the action.
That's why
And
you
that
gotta-
is
that's
not
why-
really- that's not how you're supposed to call it.
That's why embellishing nothing. Pretend like you're dead. His problem was skating off on his own power. He should have got stretchered off. Stretchered off and then wind sprints around 30 seconds later like a soccer player. Just get the call.
Right.
Get the call.
Now, I want to remind everybody that for an elbow he connected on in the Tampa series, Michael Bunting was given a match penalty and a 3-game suspension.
Yeah, because
So this is what I'm saying.
the
If you guys
NHL
want me to, I can pull it up for you.
my
it's okay.
God. I tell you what.
Because he connected, though. That's my point. Trouba doesn't connect here.
All those emails that we saw from that court document about like Mark Savard and Gregory Campbell from Colin Campbell, all those emails that came out because they got subpoenaed from a court case, they better have never put Michael Bunting's name down
Oh, I think
in
they
a
have
text message or email.
WhatsApp, man. They WhatsApp.
Oh my God. You cannot tell me, based on the way he was called in Carolina and in Pittsburgh, they were not intentionally fucking that young man. Horrible. Horrible, miserable. Now, here's the reason for not calling that a 5-minute major. We're averaging a decision from the Department of Player Safety once per round. There was a fine to Michael McCarron.
Yep.
There was a
Which was
fine.
the hit on DeSmith, right?
Yep. There was a fine to Nikita Zadorov.
Yep.
And there was a suspension to Carson Soucy. Murder is on the menu in these playoffs. So I was asked last round, is this the worst it's been? And I said, no. I'm willing to consider changing my answer. It's not just the in-game penalties. They're still calling penalties for stuff. They're completely asleep at the wheel here. I mean, Jacob Trouba is in. He's like the NHL's Schrodinger scumbag. Like, he's a guy who always does suspendable things and never gets suspended.
In February, Jacob Trouba was suspended for
once.
a play that was not called a penalty on the ice.
right.
Which is hilarious.
It was elbowing, and he got suspended for the elbow to the head, and on the ice at the time, no penalty was called.
Yeah, so producer Drew had a really fun stat yesterday on the stream. He goes, Steve, when was Jacob Trouba's last elbowing penalty?
It was Sportsnet stats. I sent it to him.
Oh, well, there you go. So Sportsnet Stats posted a stat that Jesse saw and then sent to Drew, and then he gave it to me, and then I said it.
And that's how you get your information.
So anyway, producer Drew, he said his last penalty was, I believe, May of 2022.
I'll pull it up.
It was at least 1 calendar year ago. It might have been 2023.
This is Sportsnet stats. This is Jacob Trouba's first elbowing penalty since May 11th, 2022 versus the Pittsburgh Penguins.
So 2 playoffs ago. Did they credit Drew for that, by the way?
They wrote, producer Drew says this.
Oh, okay, good.
That is 2
2
years ago.
years. And
Are
then
you kidding
the
me?
one he was suspended for, he wasn't called for, so it doesn't show up in the stat. That's so funny.
So
And I know Rangers fans are going to get upset at this. There better be equity in the bank for me, because how many times has Jacob Trouba done something and I've been like, you're overreacting. I've said it a bunch of times. But nope, there's no equity in the bank of goodwill.
at Taylor Hossey PGH on Twitter put together a supercut of Jacob Trouba elbows.
That's amazing.
Do you want to see a couple of them?
By the way, quote of the night last night was Kevin BX saying, I didn't think it was an elbow.
Kevin.
Well, it wasn't an elbow because he didn't connect.
It was a
you have to
very-
connect for it to be an elbow.
It was a
As I told you,
very
it's a major
interesting
penalty,
panel
BX.
to try and hear Rudy and Jennifer reason with Kevin.
God bless Jennifer Botterill. People are way too unfair to her. Like, she will disagree with her co-hosts, and it's great.
Did you guys see?
Great shit.
Did you guys see the whole thing? And then Ron McLean pulls out the rule book that he just has
No,
on hand.
I was doing the stream.
Oh my!
That's
Did Ron pull
hilarious
out
that
the
he had it on
So
hand.
Ron McLean has a physical copy of the rule book.
He should.
And
He
so
should.
this was for
PDF?
the this wasn't for the elbowing incident. This wasn't for what we're talking about. This was for the puck that went off the glove.
Okay.
And Bieksa
Markov's?
argued that he directed it in. And then so Ron McLean pulls out the rule book about the glove direction, and he reads the rule there. It's incredible to me that he has a physical copy of it.
Was he reading it? And he was like, tragically hip, April wine, Flin Flon, Manitoba.
No.
Something from 50
How
years
dare
ago.
you.
Sorry.
Adam, how dare you?
But yeah, I didn't know.
Yeah, physical copy of the rule book.
I didn't know he just keeps that on hand. Anyways, Trouba elbowing. Here's one shot.
Oh, man.
Here's
But Jesse, he didn't connect, man.
He does not connect.
So it's not a penalty.
For anybody listening, it's Trouba going on against the Hurricanes.
Holy shit!
This is the one where he leaps into the board, the side
The Nietzsche's
angle.
one.
The Nietzsche's one where he doesn't connect. And then we got one against Pittsburgh here.
Oh, that's
This
great.
is on Sidney Crosby.
Oh.
He is going right to Crosby's head.
Wow.
He does connect there.
Did he get a penalty on that? Oh, I hope
Maybe this is the one from
That's a
2022.
John Jones elbow. Jesus.
So Trouba, there's his next history. And then the next one, it's Trouba when he's with Winnipeg. He's hitting somebody on St.
that
Louis.
Ron?
I can't.
Penn? No.
Troy Brower?
Oh,
Is that
The Brower play?
I don't know. Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
right,
he gets
yeah.
the Brower play.
Yeah. So he's going at Brower right in his face, big chicken wing elbow.
Oh, no, Jesse, it's a forearm.
That's Jacob Trouba. And then once again, back with New York,
on Andre Palat.
Andre Palat, giant elbow.
Oh, my God.
Tries to decapitate this man. Adam, this is your boy, Andre Palat.
yeah.
Look at this.
Holy shit.
In true Andre Palat style, he missed because Andre's too slippery
like,
for that.
Okay, I understand the argument of like what
You have to
what,
connect, Steve.
What Bieksa was saying is like you try to hit with the forearm. I
Yeah.
understand that.
Hold on, but why?
He's leading with the point of his elbow.
And then one more because we're not done.
On Zabinajad?
Trouba.
Dumbass.
I think that's Dodonov. I'm trying to read the
looks
back
like
of the
Dodonov.
jersey. I can't see it, but Trouba's up there, and there's the elbow.
from
It's
behind.
a bad one.
Either Dodonov or Dorofeev.
Oh, Dorofeev would make more sense. There you go. Just huge elbow from behind off of the face-off draw. Yeah, Jacob Trouba loves to throw out an elbow.
Except that one is shoulder, I guess. That one is the one where I'm like, oh, he only shoulder checked him in the head. Yeah, no, I was surprised. But like,
But you know what? No one does anything about it. No one does shit to Jake Trouba. He would stop doing this if somebody did something.
Well-
and here's the thing. You look at Brad Marchand in the previous round. Sam Bennett beamed him in the head. And Marchand, by the way, I just want to say, it's so hilarious
And it was
watching.
fine.
It's hilarious watching Panthers fans upset about a headshot. Hilarious. You guys are hilarious. Are you kidding me?
There's
Panthers fans? You guys should be like exactly like Marchand said, which is, I've been on the other side of this, and I can't really complain about it.
There's a reason Paul Maurice didn't make a big deal.
Well, because like the fans are like, I can't believe they would do this to us. Can't you? Really?
No.
But-
It's dude.
but
Next
who-
game, this is music to Paul's ears. Oh, you want to play this game? We're gonna
Okay.
fucking
Yeah, but
kill you.
I have never seen that. No one has done shit to Trouba ever, and you know why? Because they're afraid of him.
Well,
Who's fought him?
Okay.
Who's come after him?
He's psychotic.
Yeah.
Like,
it's like Kucherov. Is Kucherov losing his mind? I'm not going to go
But
with
if
that.
I think
the
you guys are
equivalent?
misreading it.
Who's
I think
the
you're
equivalent
misreading
to
it.
go at Trouba?
Who's gonna go at
Who's
Trouba?
that guy?
You're
Who on the
misreading it
who on the
entirely.
Panthers goes anyone? It's going to be a cheap shot. Has to be.
You're totally misreading.
Okay, then
it.
tell
let us
me.
know.
Give
Let
me-
us
give
know.
me-
We talked about this before the series even began. Trouba has struggled in these playoffs on a team that's
And man,
Not
by the way,
struggling
his
at all.
defense partner last night on those two first goals, Andre Miller got walked twice.
he
Miller
had a
didn't have
tough
a
game.
good game.
He had a tough game.
Wow.
Especially on the penalty kill.
Yeah.
But we talked about this before the series. They're targeting him. They want him on the ice. So they're targeting him in different ways. The puck is always
It's in his corner.
always seems to go to his corner, and it's like they gave Ryan Lomberg a rag with Jacob Trouba scent on it. Go get him! and he just like they're sending him. What the hell did I do to my headphones?
Yeah.
They're sending,
I liked it though.
they're sending
I'm glad you committed to it.
right after him. Here, I should do it again. They're just sending him right after him. And they know this is going to be a long series.
Yeah.
Right? 2 of these games have gone to overtime. And they're trying to put a beating on him. What's wrong, Maddie?
I just want to say
What's
something
wrong?
too. What's hilarious about the Florida Panthers is the size doesn't matter. Ryan Lomberg is generously 5'9". He's 184 pounds, and they're like, let's send him. Let's send him. And it's because the Florida Panthers have this mentality of we'll all kill you.
There's a very small group of players in the NHL who, and I'm not trying to insult him because he does actually have some skill, but there are some players where their greatest attribute is an insane effort. Like, is Ryan Lomberg in the top group of players that deserves to be in the NHL based on skill?
No, probably not.
Maybe. But there's a handful of guys that are just like, I'm gonna do whatever it takes. You know who I think of? Michael Pezzetta.
Oh yeah,
He doesn't belong,
good call.
but he's out of his mind. He's fought Ryan Reeves more than once, and he's giving up like 30, 40 pounds. Like he's out of his mind. Simmons was out of his mind in that regard
Yes,
too.
he was.
Regularly fighting guys who were 30, 40 pounds heavier than him. We talked about that on the show. But Lomberg keeps lining up next to Rempe.
Yep.
And it's funny because Rempe's got this look on his face like, well, he's not going to go me.
Yeah.
And Lomberg's got this face like, like he's like giggling. I might have to fight the big one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like he thinks it's so funny. But I think if anyone on the Panthers goes Rempe, it's not going to be Lomberg. But it's
One day,
he's nuts.
way into the future, do you guys see Jacob Trouba when he eventually retires, a Cup champion and captain of the Rangers and all this fun stuff, saying
Messier Award winner.
Messier, a leadership award winner, the guy knows how to lead, according to Mark Messier. He
Yeah,
says-
elbow first.
He says, "Kid, here's my C, Matt Rempe, captain of the Rangers."
Matt Rempe.
Matt Rempe.
No shot.
No,
No way.
What day?
Why are you surprised?
Because Jacob Trouba is old Matt Rempe.
Did Chris Kreider die? Like all these guys on the range, Adam Fox?
Jacob Trouba right now is the captain.
Yeah.
Is not the next level of Jacob Trouba, Matt Rempe?
No. Oh, I understand what you're saying.
Well, Trouba's
No,
only
still
30.
no.
Still no?
Trouba's only 30.
Yeah,
so I
that's
feel
why
like-
I'm saying.
Oh.
You know
Like
what?
when he's 37, he decides to retire. Matt Rempe will be 28.
Okay.
Well,
okay.
that's-
Ready to be captain.
That's Trouba though hasn't had enough time to mold Matt Rempe.
He's
But
got 7 years.
But like, you know, I just want to be part of that locker room conversation. Hey, kid, even though you're 6'7", I see you're jumping into every hit. You're a natural. I love that. You gotta lead with your elbow, though.
that's what I'm
You gotta
talking
lead
about.
with your elbow, though.
That's what I'm saying, Brooksy.
If you're going to
that-
hit a man, kill him.
Exactly.
Holy.
You don't think Jake Trouba could train Matt Rempe to be a dirty ass player? I think he could.
Rempe hits people like a kid who just let go of a helium balloon. Oh, like just jumps up and grabs it.
I think that's your future captain right there.
Well, it's
Maybe.
One thing I want to mention too, Alex Wenberg with the goal. That was his second point of the playoffs.
Let's go.
But did you know this story? Wenberg's brief time with the Rangers, this is from The Athletic, has been both eventful on and off the ice. His car was stolen.
Oh no.
And eventually recovered. So I guess it was stolen on the way from Seattle to New York, where he was traded from.
Wait.
So so
like
they
when
put him on a
trailered
train.
it old. Yeah.
Yeah, put him on
Oh.
a train and trained it. So then they,
No, he drove it. He missed like 5 games
so
because
they
he had to. Yeah.
they stole it, and then his wife actually gave birth to their second kid just after the trade as well.
Wow.
So this guy's gone through a lot. So for him to get that goal, I think that's a great story.
It always
He got
works
back
out
the
that way.
stolen car.
He got it back. He
That's-
must have the tag on it. I had
That's
to do
like
that.
impossible for Canada.
I know.
Because like once the car's stolen here, it's on a boat.
They're not looking at it.
Yeah, it's on a boat in like an hour. You know.
By the way, I can't help but notice the pure volume of NHL players who appear to be having babies right around now.
Mm-hmm.
Man, those guys get told it's the off season and July 1st, they fucking go to work.
Steve.
The timeline lines up.
No,
The timeline lines
you're a
up.
little
Tell me
off.
I'm wrong.
No, because
Tell me I'm wrong.
no, you're a little off.
A little off.
Because wouldn't it be like later in the off season to be
Well,
like
March.
September?
If you're given March, it's
Yeah.
about 10 months.
You're a little off.
A little off.
about 10 months.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was off.
June, July.
They should
It was
time it
off
better.
season though.
Listen,
It was off season.
who's not? Listen, everybody. I think everybody does a little more around June, July. It's more fun.
Yeah. No, sorry.
You're on vacation. Come on.
It's top of mind because I follow Lexi LaFleur on TikTok, and she was talking about NHL players and hanky panky,
Oh, okay.
and she lot of detail.
Okay, well, there you
unexpected
go.
detail.
All right. Well, you can look that up. Now,
Yes.
I want to take you guys back to a fun year. One of the greatest years of our lives, 2021.
Fuck you.
Before you do that, do you not want to do the other part?
Oh, do we
of
want to
your-
do
of
the
your
big
gig
story?
where you got to throw us? to the
All
big
right,
story?
fine. We'll go to the big story, and then we'll do this laughter. 2021 after this. Now, we're going to build a parlay de excellence. I've made that up. But really, we wanted to take 2 players that are having great playoffs, okay? And then we wanted to bet on one not to score because he's been on a hot streak, and one to score because he's just beginning a hot streak.
Yes, this is me being prime difficult.
Okay.
So I'm $2 Steve.
Okay.
I'm not in it for the big bets. I'm in it for the lulls and the little bets. My parlay is for Zach Hyman, who is scoring almost a goal a game, to not put up a point, which means
And
12
what-
goals in 14 games. by
What
the way.
is the mentality behind this?
lull.
I
That
think-
is the
You know what I
mentality.
think it is? I think it's Steve being like, I want a Dave Steckel jersey. Like, I want to be smarter than everybody else. So this is the
Jay
game.
McClement.
Game 3 is the game
So
where
Zach
Zach Hyman
Hyman
doesn't get any.
Who's like unreal.
Yep.
You're like, he's not going to do it.
No point.
Okay.
And I'm going to parlay it with Barclay Goodrow does.
So Zach Hyman to not get a point is 2.5 times your money. And,
Wow.
And Barclay Goodrow to score a goal is 7.5 times your money. So if you parlay them together, it's 18.75. So if you put $10 down.
Which I'm not. I'm $2 Steve.
So let me change it.
Change it to 2.
So 2.
Change it to 2.
You'd get, for $2,
Wow.
you'd get $37.50.
Hell yeah. I'm just trying to think of what I'm going to do with that. Not sure with you, Doubting Thomas.
$37.50.
$37.50.
I like that. I like that a lot, actually. And I think now, Jesse, is this a parlay that you would build?
No. I believe Zach Hyman will get a point. So that's right there.
I got to tell you, that McDavid lines looked so good in this series. So good against Dallas.
Nah.
Okay, but nah?
Consider not. What? I don't think you needed the caveat of against Dallas.
No, you did, because they didn't look great against the Canucks. They had points, but I'm saying McDavid especially. People were like, "Is he
fair
okay?"
enough?
Even though he's got 20-something assists or whatever he's got, he still wasn't like the factor that you would expect. There wasn't the rush chances you were expecting from him.
The other thing I would think about a $2 Steve on, I think Adam Henrique's going to be shot out of a cannon.
Oh yeah, he might. Yeah, because Chris Knoblauch doesn't like to tamper with lines when you're winning. But now that they've lost, he probably gets in.
Ryan McLeod out, Adam Henrique in.
I wonder, do they put Henrique in on the third line, or do they put him up on the wing in place of Dylan Hall?
I'm not sure. It was announced today that he's going to be in. I don't know what line he's
Yeah, they haven't.
right now. It doesn't matter. He's going to score anyway.
So bet on it. Bet on that. Okay.
I will.
No, you gotta tell the people where to go.
Oh, you go to betmgm.ca or sorry, betmgm.com. What am I saying?
You're
betmgm.com.
You're so good at this.
betmgm.com/dangle. Listen, I can't be perfect every time.
No.
You can be. If you check out Steve's parlay.
And where?
With Zach Hyman and Barclay Goodrow. betmgm.com/dangle. Check it out. Let me take you back to one of your favorite years. One of the years of our lives. 2021. What was going on in 2021? That's right. Well, we had the Canadian division, which was cool.
Yeah.
And it was the third and fourth waves of the pandemic, especially up here in Canada. We couldn't leave our houses. It was great. It was fantastic. Loved 2021.
Still, we couldn't, right?
That's right. Because, because. Now, in fact, I want to go back even further. 2019, pre-pandemic. Gus Forsling placed on the waivers by Carolina Hurricanes. After 24 hours, that was September 30th. October 1st, Forsling cleared waivers. Then Jan 8, 2021, Forsling placed on waivers by the Carolina Hurricanes.
Wow.
Just as the season is about to start. And guess who claims him?
The Florida Panthers.
The Florida Panthers. And they extended him. And this is something that I think people have not given enough credit for with the Florida Panthers, because Gus Forsling is going to next year make essentially what he makes this year, which is $5.75 million. That might be one of the greatest extensions we have ever seen for a defenseman that's that good.
It's one of the greatest waiver wire pickups in... I mean, how much better does he have to play to get into the conversation of best waiver wire pickups in NHL history?
I don't even know how you track that, but that's true.
Like, I'm trying to... who's on that list? Martin St. Louis.
Oh, yeah, he was a waiver guy.
Oh, my
He was a
God.
Calgary Flame.
Wow.
He was a Calgary Flame. And then
And he was a good Calgary Flame, too, but they didn't like his size.
And then he iced him in the Stanley Cup final. Steve Sullivan, another little guy, who was coming off like a 20-goal season with the Leafs. Stupid friggin' team. Man, it's not a big list because really, 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 really good players don't tend to get put on waivers, except for Simone Benoit. But he's done extremely well.
Yeah, very cool, I think, and it's a great story. Now, the Florida Panthers
player.
side of this Rangers game is that they outplayed the Rangers.
Oh, just belligerent.
And you want to tell me shot attempts matter?
just a bit. Listen, I know that was a big bit of the online hockey discourse. Is all right. They had more shot attempts and more shots. I get it. I don't pay too much attention to that during the game, like when we're streaming it. But I was like, okay, Shesterkin is having to A, make more saves than Bobrovsky, and B, they're all harder. Like, he had to make some crazy saves to even to get that game tied.
Yes.
In the first period. You know what I mean? It wouldn't have looked good on him if you blow a 2-goal lead in the third period and you lose, but they won. So hurrah for him.
I also, you look at the third period and the way that the Panthers were pressing, it's kind of crazy that they only got 2. And Forsling was one of them.
God.
Barkov was the other.
The
Barkov
ice
almost
was
had 2.
Extremely tilted.
Yes.
Not Barkov. Forsling almost had 2 because he scored the one that was a snipe, And he comes in like a couple shifts later. He's like, well, I'll try it again. Bing! Right off the bar. No, he was an animal.
So if you're the Florida Panthers, do you change anything about your game? Or do you just go out and roll it out the same way? Because
Yes.
over the course of, again, this is the advanced stats part talking. Over the course of like a sample size of 10 games, you play that game 10 times, you might win it 6 or 7 of them. What do you need to change after an overtime loss where you, by every metric except for the goals, outplayed the team that you faced?
You have a decision to make here. Do you decide we got goalied, we win that game 9 times out of 10, we try it again? Or we played inefficient hockey. So,
And they're known for efficient hockey.
yes, they outshot the Rangers. I know they had 38 shots. What did the Rangers have? I can't remember.
we'll
It
look
was
that
like
up for
high
you.
20s or something.
37 Florida, 23 New York.
Oh, so they adjusted it.
Bit of a difference.
It's pretty bad, but the shot attempts. Drew sent me. I gotta find the stat. It was so stupid. The Matthew Tkachuk one. You know which one I'm talking about?
Yep.
Oh, here it is. Holy shit! Shot attempts worth 53-4
My goodness.
with Tkachuk on the ice. Now, you had the puck.
Yep.
That's what that means. Good. You were putting lots of attempts on. Good. That means a lot of your shots aren't getting through. Panthers missed high a lot. They missed wide a lot. They got blocked a lot. The Rangers cleared a lot of... they did really well in the slot, especially the high slot. I found clearing rebounds and the like. And not just clearing rebounds, but turning it into a counterattack with speed. I thought they did a really good job of. So just because the Panthers... They outplayed them. Just because the Panthers outplayed the Rangers doesn't mean they shouldn't make any adjustments for Game 4. I thought it was inefficient.
Okay. And looking at the penalties here, and I know it's just sort of a silly thing, but the New York Rangers did take too many.
Well, especially in the first.
12 minutes in penalties compared to 4 by the Florida Panthers. You got to it's kind of crazy to think that any team could be more penalized than the Florida Panthers, but they are really good at not getting penalized. And that's an art. It's an art form, especially this late in the playoffs. I feel like that tilts in their favor as well. Their takeaways were more. The Rangers block shots. Check this out. This is for me a huge indicator that the Rangers were outplayed. Block shots were 37-14. Rangers, Florida.
Wow. But you see, they're not getting them through.
Right.
So this is part of why I think I'm right about the Panthers' overall strategy. They're putting it into the corner a lot. They're hitting the Rangers on the boards, and the Rangers are being forced to block a shitload of shots. If this series goes long, it's going to be hard for the Rangers to win. And I'm saying that about a team that's up 2-1 right now. But if this goes to 6-7, those are going to be two of the toughest games of their life. And that's a team that recently went to Game 7 against Tampa in the conference final as well. I don't remember where I was going.
I think you're talking about the Florida Panthers game plan going into the next game. And Jesse,
just all the shot blocks. Like it's attrition.
Jesse,
Florida Panthers game plan?
what would you do differently, if anything at all?
No, you don't change up anything. They're like 1 or 2 bounces away from winning that game. And I think if you're Florida, I guess the part you focus on is not the offensive end. Like I feel like I'm kind of zeroing in on like, hey, how do you get more chances? How do you get more shots through? They put up 4 goals.
Yeah,
They did. I don't think that's a problem. I think what you want is like 1 extra save out of Bobrovsky at the other end. Like that's more what you want than let's try and generate more offense. I feel like our focus should be on the other end is like, hey, maybe we don't allow the best shorthanded unit in the playoffs right now to get a shorthanded goal. You know, when we get this huge penalty by Trouba and then we have this opportunity here to go on the power play, maybe let's not allow a shorthanded goal. And then you get another power play opportunity in the third when Trouba gets called for holding the stick and they don't capitalize on that one. Let's focus on a little bit of just capitalizing more on the opportunities and stopping New York offensively. Don't allow them to put up 5.
Trouba
maybe
took 3
3
penalties.
Yeah, if you just limit them to 3 goals, you're good. Like, I don't know. I think it's really simple for Florida.
If I'm Paul Maurice, I go, okay, we allowed 5 goals. How do we prevent those goals from happening? All right, well, what were those goals? There was Wenberg. By the way, you're now down 2-1 because of overtime goals from Wenberg and Goodrow. Damn. But I go, okay, Wenberg, that's a brain fart. They left him totally alone in front. That was bad. What other goal?
Laugh Dangle.
Well, I look at both laugh goals, and good money is on that not happening in game 4. Not twice. Though, like, those are 2 special goals. Like the first backhander, yuck. Friggin' great. The second one, friggin' yuck. Great. Like, those are special plays from a player who's becoming more and more special. But the reason they're special is you don't see them every single game, right? So if I'm Pomo, I probably look at that and go, it's not going to happen next game. And then who had the other 2? I'm trying to remember now.
Well,
Gaudreau had 2.
Yeah, Gaudreau had one on the shorthanded one.
Yeah, that one's pretty shit.
And like, I look at the OT winner with Wenberg. Maddie, if you want to bring up this screenshot, if you remember how it went in, Wenberg was all by himself in front of the net off of this face-off.
Yeah,
Nobody covered down low at all.
To be fair, he had 1 point before this.
Sure, but somebody's got to be covering the man who's right in front of the goaltender. And I feel like if you're Florida, get a little better defensively. You're going to make this a really tight series, probably get the next one at home again, and you'll be good.
Not pictured in the screenshot is the very visible awooga face that Oliver Ekman-Larsson is making in the corner when he realizes where he should be. Awooga. He's
It's a
like,
brutal breakdown.
And-
Like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit reference there.
yeah,
That's
you
good. I
know
like that.
those squeaky boop, 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 boop,
Yeah.
like those steps. That's what he was doing to try to get to the front of the net.
I want to do a quick shout out too before we wrap the segment on this game for Panthers fans and Rangers fans in this series. Both sides have been spectacular. Panthers fans are just they were loud yesterday. They were wild. It was fun to watch. It was fun. It's you know what? We've taken our cheap shots at South Florida for a while. There were times where you could get a season ticket to a Panthers game and it would cost you the same as a platinum seat for 1 game with the Leafs.
Oh, it's like,
and you get free parking in a jersey too. Like it was crazy back in the day.
Chauffeur.
They got
and a doula for a month. Yeah. Like it was ridiculous.
They got a good ownership group and they have for a while and they're committed to winning. And look at that, they are, and people show up. So I just think a little tip of the hat to the Florida Panthers fans for how loud they were last
That was a
night.
tip of the fedora.
Tip of the fedora.
To the Panthers, I give them a milady. Horrible.
And to officially wrap the segment, we have a tweet from the Department of Player Safety. That New York Rangers Jacob Trouba has been fined $5,000, the maximum allowable under the CBA, for elbowing Florida's Evan Rodriguez.
Wow.
Now,
That's so much money.
Jesse, when was he suspended
February something.
of this year?
Yeah.
Stupid.
Does $5,000 count?
Stupid what?
Is $5,000 in the playoffs equivalent to a game in the regular season?
Yes.
Because, a game
yeah.
is equivalent to 2 games, you see.
No, but like this, I keep bringing this instance up. Jamie Benn, a few playoffs ago, was fined. Then the next game, he did something else and was fined. What's the point?
It's a lot of money.
What's the point?
It's a lot of money.
If he's literally, the Department of Player Safety had to review an incident with a repeat offender,
Yep.
and it's a fine. It's a terrible system. It's stupid.
Now,
If he got a game, I wouldn't be like overly shocked.
A game.
A single game. It would. None of us would sit here and be like, "Oh my god,
What
how
did
did that
Susie
happen?"
get? 1?
Yeah.
George, this on your clock app. There's an alarm. Wake up. You're missing some good hockey, George.
Listen, AG1. The gentleman to my left and to my other left have taken it every single day. How do you feel?
lefts.
Yes. How do you guys feel?
I actually feel great.
Yeah?
No, I'm serious. Like it's given me an energy boost. I like it a lot.
Jesse, what about you?
I feel the same as I felt for the last year or so because I've been taking it all that
For an
time.
entire year?
So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it's been a couple of years now since we've had like them on the show as a sponsor. I've been taking it. It's been friggin' awesome.
Now, it supports energy, gut health, stress levels for people. Many people report feel more manageable, and you feel like you're getting the nutrients your body craves. And that's kind of the key thing, right? Because sometimes you're like, I don't feel right, but I don't know why. AG1 kind of takes care of that because it's got all the nutrients and it puts it in your stomach.
What have I eaten today? No water and an almond.
Oh, no.
And a raw almond at that.
Wrong.
Harder to
Why do I
digest.
feel bad?
AG1 is a foundational nutrition supplement that supports your body's universal needs like gut optimization, stress management, and immune support. Since 2010, AG1 has led the way for foundational nutrition, continuously refining their formula to create a smarter, better way to elevate your baseline health. And if there's one product you'd like to try it, you can take ownership of your health right now. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3K2 and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/SDP. Again, that's drinkag1.com/SDP. Check it out. Jesse, I sent you a clip to kick off our Oilers segment, if it's possible to bring it up, because Chris Knoblauch put his political pants on and said something without saying something. And a lot has been made of this quote, so let's go ahead and play it.
Chris, why do you think it's been so difficult for your team to draw penalties in this series so far?
I think
So do I. I think.
I've heard a lot about in the past as being a spectator, not part of the NHL, not as a coach. The NHL, sometimes the standard gets changed a little bit. They would definitely want to make sure it's a penalty. Or in the regular season, maybe some things get let go. That's obviously unfortunate for us. We've got a very good power play, and we win a lot of games on the power play. It's unfortunate for us that it's tougher to draw penalties in the off season or in the playoffs, than it is regular season. But that being said, I think the standard's the same both for both teams. I'm not saying that it's unfair for us, but we would like the same standard.
So I'm not saying, but I'm saying. Here, I want to. Here, can you actually play that again? Like just the first few seconds, because I'm a really good mind reader. I'm a really good mind reader.
Chris, why do you think it's been so difficult for your team to draw penalties in this series so far?
I think.
All right, Chris, we talked about this at home. Let's list off all the things you can buy with $25,000. You can get a new car.
I've heard a lot about in the past.
He's just thinking of ways to not get fined there. That's all he's doing. Diplomatic answer, managed to avoid the fine. Reporter asked their question. They did their job. Good for all involved, I guess. I don't know. They also decided they're done with fines for coaches, too. Oh, you know what I never ranted about, but now that it's here? Nikita Zadorov accused refs of rigging games and didn't get fined for it. And any coach would have been fined $25,000 on.
I don't remember the quote from the.
Oh, protecting their investment.
They have to protect their investment. So basically, McDavid can do, or you can't do anything to McDavid. So not only is he saying it's rigged, the system is rigged in favor of McDavid, he's saying the punishment that I got for my infraction against McDavid is bullshit because the league protects this guy. Any coach, if Rick Tocchet had said that, he'd be $25,000 lighter. But Zadorov said it, and we all went, lol.
Well, so this is what I wanted to ask, because the Dallas Stars have not been a crazy penalty team throughout the playoffs at all. Is it a referee thing, or is it the Dallas Stars are playing a bit cleaner? Because I have to tell you, I'm watching the penalties that the Oilers take, and I'm thinking about Evander Kane with a forearm to the face, which was called an elbowing call. I'm talking about Connor McDavid, high stick to the face. Some of the calls that they've taken are calls that the referees literally cannot ignore. Mm-hmm. There was a Dylan Holloway holding call where everybody was like, "What the hell was that?" Mm-hmm. And agreed, that was game one. But I'm looking at this and I'm like, yeah, but like keep your stick down.
Well, I wonder if part of the reason it feels like the Oilers aren't getting enough is there was an insane amount of power plays back and forth in the Oilers Canucks series.
Yeah.
And I mean, these guys talk. I wonder if the conversation was, you know what? Too much. They talk like they get graded on their performance. And guys, you called too much in the Edmonton Vancouver.
They called
series.
a lot. They called a lot.
Dial it back. Like every time, it's like 3-4 power plays in the first period every game. And I'm like, okay, holy shit, this is eventually going to dry up.
Yep.
It's drying up.
Yep.
It's drying up, and it's going to continue to dry up. So, I mean, I was going to say, I don't know, play dirtier.
Well, is that not what the Oilers? I mean, the Oilers have some of the penalties they've taken have been objectively stupid. Like you can't take some of these, and this has been a very even series through 2 games. That to me is not a great. I wouldn't answer to that if I were him. And the reason I say that is obviously he doesn't want to piss off the refs because then you know what's going to happen. Everybody knows. But when I look at that, I go, that is a coach acknowledging frustration, and that comment isn't going to get him anywhere.
Nope. And I think Oilers fans and the Oilers are always going to feel like they get the short end of the stick when it comes to the refs because, like we discussed before the series even began, at maximum they call 25% of the infractions that happen to Connor McDavid are called penalties.
Yes. Yeah. Well, listen, we saw when Winnipeg somehow beat Edmonton in 2021.
Oh, that was a disgrace.
It was the refereeing was outrageous, and they have every reason to be upset about that. But I'm looking at this and I'm going, yeah, but the Oilers are making. See, here's the thing: the obvious call the ref is going to make. If it's a high sticking, if it's an egregious elbow, you'd think they are going to call it.
Yeah.
Don't do that. Maybe just take less penalties because the Oilers have looked good 5-on-5, really good.
They're starting to look better. Yeah, they're definitely starting to look better.
I like them 5-on-5 against Dallas, especially in the last game.
Yeah, I think the day between playoff games is the worst.
Why?
Hockey Twitter is the worst when there's no games because all you have are your thoughts. Like you don't have anything to react to. Mm-hmm. You already reacted, right? Like you had your out loud reaction when the game happened. Then you probably said something afterwards. Then you slept on it and you had dreams about it. And you woke up and because it's the playoffs, you went, and another thing. And then it just snowballs into this thing until it's a boulder by the time it gets to the bottom of the hill. And then you got to do it again next game. Like I think there's a mental atrophy that comes with a deep playoff run. I said I think because I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
How could you know?
How could I know?
So it's weird that Chris Knoblauch's reacting to the penalties and stuff out of the Saturday game because were penalties not even on Saturday?
I think that he was upset that they were even because he felt the aggrieved party and that Dallas should have taken more.
Right, and I feel like even if they were, because I'm pretty sure they were even in terms of like the penalties called, and the last one was like Evander Kane with like a minute left in the game. So if anything, Edmonton had the advantage.
Yeah,
like in terms of power play opportunities, and then in game 1, you won.
You won.
so it's not even that bad. I don't feel like penalties are the thing to complain about in this series.
I think the argument, like,
I'm with you, Jesse.
Anthony Edwards was upset last night because I think it was Game 3, Minnesota-Dallas. The Mavericks had like 38 free throws to Minnesota 17 or something like that. And he said that. But then I remember a game from earlier this season where the Raptors got completely jobbed in a game against the Lakers, and LeBron James got asked about it. And he goes, well, I thought they took fouls and we didn't. Right? So, like, just because a game it has an equal amount of power plays doesn't mean it was called well. What I would say to that is the Oilers killed the Stars in the first period of that game.
Mm-hmm.
The whole rest of the game was the Stars taking back ground.
Yep.
So, like, if we're going to go with who was the better team, like who drove play, who probably had the puck more, I don't know what the actual stat is, but just anecdotally from watching it, I thought it was Dallas.
Well, and take it from Leaf fans who have, all of us,
Or don't.
complained about penalties every time we get into the playoffs. Every time. Who, actually this year, I didn't complain about penalties at all. Didn't complain, not one time. Because I know how it is. Here's the thing.
The McAvoy one, that was it.
Complaining gets you nowhere.
No.
You're not going to change the way this is reffed. So you have to work within that. And they're going to call less and less. You think this is bad? Wait till the Cup final.
Oh, yeah.
Wait till it's Florida or New York in the Cup final. Jake Trouba with flying elbows, or Sam Bennett with low key punches to the face that knock your best player out for a couple of games.
You know how I talked about this before? You know how the St. Louis Blues won the 2019 Stanley Cup? After Game 2, where they took, I think it was 8 penalties for many counts of attempted murder, Craig Berube went, "Hey!" And refs went, "Oh, yeah."
Is that what happened?
And then they won the Cup.
No, that's not what happened.
Go watch.
Really?
Go look at the numbers.
Is that really what
Dude,
happened?
it was like 8-8.
So maybe Knoblauch's onto something then.
Yeah. No, you just go, "Hey, now."
Now, you got to have a good relationship with the refs to do that.
No. See,
Am I misunderstanding you?
if you ask them to call more, shove it up your friggin' nose with a rubber hose. If you ask them to call less, because manly men, and aren't you a manly man with chest on your manly chest hair? And they go, "Oh, yeah, well, yeah. What do you mean? You saying I'm not? I'll show you. I'm going to call so few penalties. You won't even believe how few penalties I call." And then the analysts who used to be refs get on TV and they go, "No, that was actually really good." And then they get on Twitter too and they go, "No, that was so good." Man.
Listen, in the absence of the NHL speaking, Tim Peel and Dave Jackson are our best resources for how they think. Whether or not you agree,
Oh, yeah.
you absolutely need to be like, "Oh, okay, well."
Okay, a former ref publicly disagreeing with a current ref, or the first documented sighting of a unicorn? Which happens first?
Steve, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Next fall, this upcoming fall, how much money would we need to raise for Rachel Raiders to get you to referee a beer league game?
Oh.
Yes!
I would. Okay, first of all, Jesse, I want to ref all your games.
It'd be really hard for Steve to keep up with play. I'm not going to
Yeah,
lie.
it would be really hard for me to keep up with play, which is why I'm going to be on Jesse like shit on Velcro, because I'm going to call you every shift. Too many men.
How much?
How many? Oh, at least 100 racks.
100 grand? Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would love
What's
that.
your record? 110? 120? Said it a couple years ago.
Over 100.
Yeah, we broke 100 a couple years ago. Mm-hmm. Like,
No, I don't know the number.
If we broke that record again, and one of the requirements was like, hey, if we get over 100, you'll referee a beer league game, and everybody's got to know that you're not going to be able to keep up with play entirely. If the calls are a little wonky, that's
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
But you're in it for the fun. Do you think you could do it?
Oh, yeah. We had a linesman who used to be my neighbor in Oshawa. He came up to me on the bench. He goes, "Where's Adam?
And if
Where's Adam? I got a bone to pick with him."
Yeah, he-
strap a GoPro to your helmet and we upload the full thing to YouTube, you'd do that.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God, that'd be great.
All right, let's work towards.
Is there any
this
way we
goal.
could live stream that? That would be the event of the
Yeah,
season.
depending on the Wi-Fi, we probably live stream the GoPro,
Oh,
something
God,
like
that
that.
would be
Yeah.
incredible.
Oh, it's going to have everything. Heavy breathing. Heavier breathing.
Missed call.
Panting, swearing. Missed calls.
We have to have Jesse and I need to be in studio calling the game too, like watching Steve call
In the arena. Yeah.
Oh, in the arena calling the game. Oh,
There's
going to
be 18 penalty shots.
Oh man, beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful.
Let's see the highest level we can get involved on this. Like, we can't get you in like a preseason OHL game, but we could get you like a pretty competitive men's league.
Oh my God.
You know who would know who to talk to is Sean Fitzgerald. He knows the men's league very well.
Yeah.
We should talk to him about
Oh yeah, I can't wait for him to pitch that to all his buddies. Hey, do you want to fuck up one of our once a week games? So I have this.
Do you want to hate Stripes more than you always?
I have this fucking idiot who barely knows how to pivot, who
made it
also
that.
can't see very well.
Do you think you know the rules enough?
Yes. Well,
Like,
no.
Yeah.
Like yes, I know them to an extent. I think all hockey fans know it to an extent. And then
You should be able to know beer league though.
Well, yeah, but something happens on the fly and you fuck.
right.
I
But
don't
even
even
like
know.
where the face-off has to take place, because depending on what happens in the action, there's certain dots you have to go to. Do you think you could nail down all that?
Here's the great thing. If I get yelled at, like if I'm wrong, I'll just get yelled at. They'll let me know. Hey, it's supposed to be over there. And then I go, all right, and I bark back at them while subtly skating towards where they told me to go,
man.
just to maintain my authority.
You know, 'cause
I got this. I got
If
I
you're
think
a
this
true
is
ref.
the watch of the year. You being a
man,
referee.
that stream would do 100K, no problem.
Oh yeah.
100,000 people tune into that.
And okay, but here's what we need though, like to accompany the stream. We need a play-by-play guy. We need a color commentator.
That's Jesse and I.
And we need an officiating expert to agree with every call I make.
Okay, maybe your buddy from Oshawa who was the linesman.
Oh yeah. No, he'd just be like fucking.
No, we'll just be like, hey, let's go to the linesman. Useless anyway. Because remember, he was chirping me at the game.
And you would
so I
just
had to
cut
chirp
him off.
back.
How many guys are you going to throw out of the face-off circle by fake dropping the puck?
Adam every single time.
Adam's not in the game. Oh. Yeah. Adam's watching.
I'm not playing.
Adam's doing commentary.
I'm calling
He's
I'm
doing
calling the game with
play-by-play.
Jesse.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every single time you throw somebody out.
Every single time. There was a really bad one the other night.
Man, how the hell do they drop the puck, whistle it dead, and go, oops, I didn't drop it properly?
It happens all the time.
Screw you guys, man. It's over. You lost your chance. As soon as the puck leaves your hand, out of it, you don't get to do that now.
Yeah. No.
Stop.
It's okay. There's only 20,000 of us. You go ahead. you go ahead. Here. No, here.
And
wait.
by the way, why don't fans get more upset about it? I think it's because we're it's so ingrained that we don't think about it. But
There's too many other sports and they go watch those instead.
Okay.
yeah, stop, Steve, stop. It's not. No one's not watching hockey but it's annoying.
No, let's just add it to the fucking list.
Yeah. Okay. Well, listen, Jesse, I want you to bring up the video I just sent you. This one I believe we can play because there's no copyright. This is social media from the Czech national team who are currently celebrating in Prague right now. They won the world championship. CJ was saying to you, Jesse, on the Friday CJ show that Pasternak is a god there.
Yeah.
And look at watch this. First off, they're drinking all the beer.
Wanna play it?
Yeah, play it. Go ahead.
A zapsal si do dějiny světového hokeje. Jsem moc rád, že dnes jméno Vodákos oslavovat ohří. Mohu sdělit celému stanovisku náměstí.
Understand every word.
Národního týmu, pán Radim
There are tens of thousands of people there. Pretty cool.
Look at that.
I want the music to get us copyright.
Oh shoot, sorry about the music part.
It's all right.
Yeah, isn't that cool?
I loved David Pasternak tweeting, hey, maybe we can get into the Four Nations now.
Oh yeah.
So the reigning world champions won't even
Guys,
be in the tournament.
It's BS that they're not in it. It's BS that there's only 4.
NHL's done the worst job with this stuff.
Yep.
Where'd they land
like-
on 4? Like that's what I want.
It's ridiculous.
And you're telling me that so Czechia could easily be in that tournament.
Oh yeah.
What's the next team like
Germany?
Germany easily, but then it's like, well, how many
Slovakia.
How many teams do you go in with, right?
Should have been all
16.
It would have been better.
16.
Should have been like 8.
And by the way, they're never doing this again. The funny thing about the Four Nations Cup is they're making a cup up. Somebody's going to win it, and then they'll never do it again.
No, they'll never come back.
Because Russia will be allowed back in eventually. We know that.
Oh,
and so
that
the
why?
Four Nations thing is never going to exist again.
No, and because they're going to start regularly going to the Olympics, and then in between they might have their own tournament that'll be expanded to the regular amount of ridiculous teams that should be in there.
So that's what it was. How can we make money off an international tournament without having to make a difficult decision?
yeah.
Having their cake and eating it too.
Yeah, it's nonsense.
Good for them.
Here's David Pasternak on his Instagram. The caption on his Instagram with the trophy and a beer reads, "Maybe Four Nation invite now?" ? Question mark?
Love that. Love
Absolute gem. There he is.
that. Yeah, good for him.
Oh yeah, good for the whole team. Like pulling off that victory at home. Like that's really cool.
There's some great shots of Pasternak on top of a bus holding the cup
nice.
and everything. It's just cool. It's very cool. And what I liked was the story on the CJ show about like how Pasta and who was the other guy that jumped on the plane with him 2 days later after Boston lost?
Oh, Natchez?
No, was it Natchez? Natchez did also join. There was another Bruin, wasn't there? Anyway, it doesn't matter. They jump on a plane literally like 2 days later and we're like, we're coming. And I think that's really cool. And it shows how much it means. And you're seeing all the fans in the square there. And I love the international growth of this game. I want more. This is a Monday, guys. It's a Monday afternoon there. And there are a bunch of people who are like, yeah, screw work. We're going to the celebration. How awesome is that?
We stand.
We stand.
We absolutely stand. I'm trying to look up the roster. Like, just there's so many NHLers, but like also like former guys, and you could tell it meant a lot to them. I think part of the reason they won is they had such a good turnout, right? Like a lot of guys for some of these other countries are like, meh, take it or leave it. I'm gonna lick my wounds. Pasta was like, I'm pretty sure is not 100%.
No, he's not.
Like at all.
Chris said that.
No,
Like even close. He had to argue with the Bruins
Yep.
to go, and they let him go, and he won.
How funny is it that Kevin Fiala wins MVP? Like, shout out Switzerland and Fiala for like carrying that team, because that's such an unexpected runner-up.
Yes.
You know? Who expected Switzerland? Who expected the USA to be out of it? Who expected Canada not to medal?
And Sven Andergetto, who is a name I have not heard in a long time, was the guy that put him out. Like, I was like, what? I forgot about that guy.
Yeah.
Who got the empty net clincher? David friggin' Kampf.
Oh, hey, I like that.
David friggin' Kampf. That's
this is
gold
the-
medalist David Kampf.
This is also the second time in the last 3 tournaments that the host country won. In 2022, Finland won in Finland. And then last year, it was split between Latvia and Finland. Canada won that. But then this year, we get Czechia winning it.
At home.
Home country, yeah.
Love that. Love that. By the
Shout
way,
out noted Alan Walsh client.
Paul Maurice was just asked about Jake Trouba being fined $5,000 for elbowing Evan Rodriguez. And he said, poor lad, poor Jake, will he be able to eat? That's a good quote. Good quote.
I mean, most people go to the Laugh Factory, but Paul Maurice just works on his material every playoff.
That's right. He's good, man.
He loves it.
Last year, do you guys remember the MVP of the tournament?
Of the World Championship, World Hockey Championship. Well, who won?
MVP of the tournament.
Like, who won the tournament?
Last year, Canada.
Oh man,
There's a reason you should know the MVP of the tournament
Was
from
it
last
Leaf?
year. Give me a name.
no, I don't think it was.
Was it Tampa? Probably maybe somebody from Tampa? I don't know. I have no idea.
Kasperi Kapanen.
Artur Shilovs.
Oh!
For Latvia was the runner-up.
Shoot, that's
'Cause they,
right.
They placed third in the tourney, and it was so unexpected, and Shilovs was the goaltender.
Somebody told me that in the chat. I should have known
I
that.
was like, I thought you would have known it. But yeah, I remember Canada beat Germany in the gold medal, and then Latvia beat USA in the bronze medal game, and Shilovs was unreal. So yeah.
Damn.
Cool. Like, I feel like it's gaining momentum here every year.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's having like a resurgence, the
World Hockey
the World Championships, but it feels like every year we're kind of talking about it a little bit more.
I mean, well, especially because we have had such an absence of men's international hockey. Like, it's basically all we got.
Yeah.
Like,
and it's
yeah, it
actually
should
a
be
really
a
good
big-
tournament. And it's just a shame it happens during the playoffs. So, you know what? And people are like, oh, if you're not a true hockey fan. It's like, listen, some of us have families, man. It's difficult to watch that much hockey all the time.
You can't do everything.
No, you can't.
Like-
well, some people can, and that's cool. But like,
I've never met anyone who could do everything. Have you?
no, we'll not watch all the hockey.
You know any doctors?
No.
Are they a lawyer too?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's you got a life, and so it's difficult. But I do think what's great about those games is they are usually on mid-afternoon, so you can at least have them on while you're doing stuff. And
Oh, it was awesome. Just turn on a game at 3:00.
Oh.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll watch Canada, Norway. I don't care.
I think the Olympic thing ties into it because it feels like, okay, we haven't had truly best on best, so this kind of takes its place. And maybe with the Olympics coming back and best on best coming there, and this isn't truly best on best because most of the guys can't go because they're in the playoffs. So maybe once the Olympics is back and they get their 4 nations thing, which is going to be 8 nations eventually running, this takes a step back, unfortunately.
Yep.
You know, like I could see the World Championships even like losing interest because of everything that comes back.
Well, part of it was didn't a lot of the international programs go, hey, if you want to be involved in these tournaments, you better play here.
Yes, Canada did.
Yes. Yeah. That's why I think you saw a guy like Bedard go over there and be like, hey, I want to be a part of things. I'm going to do this first.
Tavares, too.
Tavares,
Like-
who's gunning for a spot in the 4 Nations and the Olympics. The Olympics, I think, is very outside shot, but 4 Nations, definitely.
Yeah, like you're looking at like a role player kind of role, which internationally I think he might actually be pretty good at.
It depends on what kind of team Canada wants to have, right? Are they going to be a slow 2014 Babcock team? In which case, I think Tavares slots perfectly into that because he can slow pace of a game.
I mean,
or are they going to be a rush team?
you won an Olympic medal with Chris Draper and Kirk Maltby.
Yeah.
Like, you can do it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's great. And you know what, man? I'm all for hockey growth everywhere all the time. And it's great to see. It feels genuinely like there's some momentum, not just in the NHL game, but in the international game. And that's cool. I love that.
Speaking of winners, did you see the win that wasn't yesterday in the PWHL?
Oh.
You're moving on a little quickly.
Oh, are we? Sorry.
The 4 Nations face-off, for everybody. It's happening literally next season, February 12th to 20th, and they're still having the All-Star game before that. They haven't canceled.
Oh, I thought they canceled the All-Star.
The All-Star game. No, I'm pretty sure it still takes place. Or maybe I'm thinking of the Olympic year, because one of the years where they're having the international tournament, they're still doing the All-Star game.
I don't think there's an All-Star game next year.
Okay.
I don't think
so. Then it would be the Olympic year where they're still doing the All-Star
They shouldn't
game.
do that.
Because they announced all of the All-Star dates. I'll triple check here.
Yesterday I was talking to my wife and we're scheduling things and she's like, God, why does the Cup final go so late this year? And I was like, I have bad news about the next 2 years.
Yeah, it's going to be.
It's going to be worse.
Yeah.
Or at very least, it's not going to get better.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Fun.
It's going to be good times.
Hey, listen, if you're a hockey fan, it's awesome fun.
PWHL?
You're correct, Adam. Next year, no All-Star game, but 2026, Islanders, UBS Arena, New York All-Star
With
game.
no disrespect to the All-Star game in 2026, nobody cares.
So they're going to have the All-Star
Olympics,
game
dude. No one
and
cares.
then go to the Olympics. That's where
I'll
I was
still watch.
confused. Thank you for the correction.
I'll still watch.
But I'm surprised they did that.
I don't understand that.
Yeah.
I feel like when we were younger and they were going to the Olympics, I feel like they never had an All-Star game in those years.
Yep. They would always skip it.
The point of the All-Star game is to market what you are as a sport and your stars, but the Olympics do that. That's what the Olympics are for.
In 2014, no All-Star game. In 2010, no All-Star game. In 2006, no All-Star game.
We don't acknowledge the 2006 one, though.
And then, so they skipped those 3 All-Star games. But they're going back to
2002?
So interesting.
Also, it's going to make things like, you know what they could
2002,
do?
they had an All-Star game.
You know what they
Oh,
could
they did?
freaking do? They could shorten the preseason. I'm fine with an All-Star game. Shorten the preseason. Don't start me after Thanksgiving weekend. This is what drives me nuts about the NHL. They're like, hey, you know there's a long weekend in Canada. It'd be a great time let's wait till it's over. And then we'll start playing hockey. Are you freaking serious? And it's like, well, we don't want the baseball playoffs. Stop it. Stop. Start a week and a half early. Start October 1st. That should be puck drop, October 1st. Boom. Amazing. You get a head start in the NBA, which starts in the end of October.
You always get a head start in the NBA.
But you get even more.
But it'd be like a month.
And I get to watch hockey on the long weekend with my family. I like that idea.
What about no?
Yeah, what if we didn't? What if we, you know what? What if we had split squads with Detroit that weekend? That'd be sick. I can't wait.
Yeah, there's always been so many preseason games. It doesn't really make sense.
No, it doesn't.
No.
No, I don't get it. I don't get
Five.
it.
But nobody needs 8.
Limit it to 5.
Like, come on.
3 is enough, guys. They know what the freaking team's going to be.
Yeah, but 3's asking for too much. That's why I said 5.
Why? Because of money? Because the money made?
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what? The way to stop preseason games is to stop going. Don't pay. You know, the Leafs will charge you like $250 for a ticket to a preseason.
Are Leaf fans screwing this up forever?
Yeah. Yeah. Why do you think they get 9? Why do you think they get so many? They make a ton of money off those.
Damn it.
I know. Let's do the press conference. Oh, no, wait. PWHL.
Oh, dude. So couple years ago, I think it was the Women's World Hockey Championships. It was Team USA versus Team Finland. Finland wins it in overtime. They win the gold medal. Goes to review. They call it back. USA wins. And I go, oh my God, I can't believe that happened. It's everyone's worst nightmare, and it actually happened to them. Fast forward to this nightmare scenario that we always talk about, and it happened in women's hockey again. Minnesota wins the inaugural PWHL championship. Goal is waved off. Boston wins in overtime. The series continues. So Boston didn't win the championship, but the series continues. Imagine going from that rush of you thought you won the championship and then you blow it immediately. Dude.
I'm gonna just play this straight.
Play it straight.
Dallas, Minnesota was on at the same time, so you're flipping back and forth. Double overtime, Minnesota, Boston, but also great game between Dallas Mavericks and T-Wolves. So I'm checking this out. I flip over.
64 shots, no goals.
Goalie interference thing happens. They're all celebrating. They call it back. I watched the replay of the goalie interference, and I'm like, they got the call right.
No, I know. I know.
She bulldozed the goalie.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
There's no way in any realm of hockey you can allow this goal to stand.
There's usually a lot of controversy, but like what I saw with this one was all right.
I'm very happy they made everybody pick up all their gloves and sticks and continue the game.
Yep.
There's no way this should have been a goal. Like
This is in Minnesota, right?
yes.
Confetti, I'm telling you.
So
You do confetti, you have a championship right now.
you can't score a goal
Why?
when an opposing player
Mess the
is
ice up.
underneath the goaltender.
Yeah, no, that's bad.
Well, maybe the goaltender should have got out of the way.
No, she was
it's
tending the
right-
goal.
It's the right call. It's absolutely the right call.
Like-
and you know what? They've avoided a Dallas Buffalo situation, right? Where in the 1999 that Brett Hall goal should have never counted. And we all know it. Dallas fans know it. But they won.
No, they don't know that.
Well, they should know
'Cause
that.
the-
That was
there was-
that was the way the rule was called at the time. That was the big story that year.
A thing about a thing.
Oh,
Haven't
yeah.
considered my
It's-
favorite team.
I think this is a moment where you should commend the PWHL and the referees in the moment for making the right call.
I do.
That's the hardest. You took the championship out of their hands,
Yep.
and it was the right call.
And shout out to the linesman who dropped the puck. Good for them.
Okay.
Great job.
If you're
job.
charging the net and you go down through all fault of your own and you end up underneath the goalie, you can't score a goal on that play. I'm sorry.
Yeah, fair enough.
There you go.
Fair enough. It just sucks.
Yeah. The thing we're most afraid of happening happened. Where
Again.
yeah.
The Finland USA one, I can't remember exactly what happened, but I remember being like, really? That call I thought was a little bit more suspect, but I mean, that's bowling. And she got a spare.
You're not allowed to score a goal like
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
So the series continues.
All right, let's do the press conference quick.
The Presser. SDP. The Steve Dangle Press Conference.
If you would give me one moment here.
I would.
Small note. Did you see Larry Brooks go at PK Subban on Twitter?
No.
Oh,
All right, let's
What?
do that first.
Really?
glasses. All right.
Okay.
Well, yeah, because PK thought Trouba's elbow should have been a major.
And Larry was like, screw that.
I was
Mark Messier was like, I played in the 80s.
I don't know who tagged me in that.
Well, Mark
but it's
Messier
funny.
invented the elbow. Gordy did. Gordie Howe did.
He inherited the torch from Gordy.
That's right.
So, PK Subban tweets, how is that not a major on Trouba? Larry Brooks, writer for the New York Post, quote tweets PK Subban and says, I can tell you that it was for a better reason than you were able to avoid being called for majors on your litany of slewfoots.
What? And that's how bad he's been now. Like, what? That sentence twists and turns. It's like a roller coaster. It goes upside down and does a corkscrew, and then we get to slewfoots. So why, Larry, why did you make this personal?
That's
Larry
putting on a
Brooks hates PK.
Why?
That's putting on a pair of tight shoes with a crowbar. Like that's what does A have to do with B at all there, Larry? What are you saying, Brooksy? Let's change it to what are you saying,
Did
Brooksy?
PK respond?
I don't think so.
Okay.
Not that.
That is a bonkers tweet, man.
If he does respond, it should just be with what?
Like it's almost like Larry was waiting to be like, PK, say something I disagree with so I can mention litany of slewfoots.
Litany.
He was waiting for the slewfoot comment.
Good word.
It is a good word. Listen, there's artistic flourish to that sentence. It's just a little bit difficult to understand, and maybe because I'm stupid, but also because it doesn't really make sense that PK, who is a NHL commentator, would have that brought back to his career.
Yeah.
Like,
you know what?
What's the relevance?
By the way,
And you know who also did bad stuff in their career? You!
well, the guy on the panel with PK, known for their elbows, is Mark Messier, but he won a cup with the Rangers, so Brooksy isn't going to say anything.
Right. But let's not forget, Mark won way more with the Edmonton Oilers and is therefore
And Edmonton.
an Edmonton Oiler.
Yeah.
Sorry, Rangers fans.
Oh. Like,
I'm kidding. Just kidding.
he would have been better off responding, "K there, Slewfoot." Like, that's a horrible tweet.
Yeah.
That sucks.
It's a boomer tweet for sure. It's a boomer tweet. Yeah.
I like it. This made me laugh so much.
I do like drama like that. I love when people go at each other. I think and you know what? It's personal, but it's not like too personal. It's more his playing style than of like a personal thing.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Steve, we had a question here from Ren Hero. Are you doing an audiobook? We've talked about this before, but just clarify for people who didn't hear that one.
I don't know yet. The book is...
What do you mean you don't know? How dare you?
Yeah.
You must do an audio.
So the book needs to be completed. So what we need right now is to get the damn thing 100% done. It is so close. There is still a backlog when it comes to getting your book to the printing press caused by COVID. So we're working very hard to get the book printed so that it's done by October 15th. And then down the rung of priorities is the audiobook. I'm going to fight for it. Like I'm going to push to have it done with the publisher. And if they don't want to do it, the rights do come back to me, but it's after a certain period of time. I want an audiobook released with the book. So we'll figure out how to do that. But as of right now, it's not confirmed.
Okay.
Last episode, I asked why that area of Carolina or the Raleigh area was called the Triangle. Thank you to everybody who responded. That was fantastic stuff. The three metro cities there, Raleigh, Durham, and Chapel Hill, is kind of the triangle, but it's also the Research Triangle Park, where apparently Carolina, or that area, that little triangle area, is the second largest IT hub in America behind Silicon Valley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So that's why that's the Research Triangle hub in there. That's fascinating.
And I bet a lot more affordable.
I would assume.
I would assume so too.
Yeah. And then lastly, did we not have an announcement to announce about a show?
Steve already made the announcement. But yes, Boston Pizza on Wednesday, baby. Let's go. In Vaughan. So we got tickets. We'll put those in the description. Don't forget. Damn, I completely forgot about that. But thankfully, Steve announced it on the stream.
Yeah.
And I will announce it on my stream tonight.
Great.
Super duper.
Tickets in the description below.
Yeah.
Right? You know what I mean?
Yep.
Right? He knows what I mean.
Yeah, I already said that.
Oh, good. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
That's
I do
good.
know what you mean.
He knows what I mean.
All right, Jesse? Anything else?
That's all for
All right,
us
then
today,
let's wrap it
folks.
up. Let's wrap it up.
I was trying to pull up this before we go.
Maddie, we're a great show.
Let me do this. Yeah, no.
Such
just
a good show.
Thumbs up.
awesome stuff. Maddie, there you go. You can pull that up. Yeah. SDP Live at Boston Pizza Vaughan. There's it on the screen. Go get your tickets Wednesday. Adam, what do you expect from your stream tonight?
I expect Gripper Nation to come out in full force. I respect how they invaded Steve's stream on Friday. Did they get you last night too?
Dude, they have been all over me. You've got them thirsting for the grip.
They want your feet too, you know. They want everyone's feet. Collectibles.
They ain't getting them.
The Steve Dangle Podcast. Follow the guys on Twitter at Steve_Dangle, at Adam WYLDE, and at Jesse Blake. Connection complete.